This is African people. Today, we'll be asking, why do countries and nations deliberately or knowingly set themselves up for destruction? So we'll be taking two countries today and trying to compare what one did and what the other is now doing, and to see how the first one ended and how the second one is following in the same path. So today we'll be talking about the countries Nigeria and Afghanistan. Nigeria and Afghanistan as countries are two different countries in two different continents, different religion, different leaders, and others. But looking at the way they've gone, you see that they are doing things similarly, and there is no way you will not see the footprint of the other first one in the second one. Or should I say, there's no way you not see the footprints or the marks of how Afghanistan traded and how Nigeria is following just behind. So, what do I mean? Today, we are all aware that the country called Afghanistan is being ruled by a terrorist organization, or should I say, a group that has been designated as a terrorist organization worldwide called the Taliban. So, how do I mean? I'll be comparing what Afghanistan did and how similarly Nigeria is following just behind. Many of the things Afghanistan did that Nigeria is also doing, that should I say destroyed Afghanistan and is now gradually destroying Nigeria. I'll start by saying that the country called Afghanistan started by having a weak government. What do I mean by weak government? They had a weak and corrupt government, leading to people not having trust or confidence in the government. Now, if you look at this thing now, you see that the same thing is happening in Nigeria. We have such a weak government now, and the citizens no longer trust the government. In fact, as it is today, whatever announcement the government makes is subject to people doubting it. Nobody trusts that comes from the government anymore, because our governments, or should I say the agencies of government, has been running it in such a way that it's difficult to even trust them anymore. This is the same way Afghanistan started. They got to a point where the citizens no longer even trust the government. And going forward, you agree with me that Afghan, their leadership was corrupt. It was very obvious to the citizens that they have a corrupt leadership. And that made it that people don't even trust the government, they have no confidence in the government, and everybody believed that whatever thing the government is doing is not even supposed to be their problem. So they were all everybody was just fighting to stay alive. In Afghanistan, it got to a point that the government was only favoring the elites and not the citizens, and not the locals or the poor ones. The same thing is happening here today. Nigeria here will favor only the elites. If a poor man and a rich man commit same offense, the poor man will pay the full price. He will suffer, he will go to prison, he will be jailed, and all sort of things done to him. But the same offense will be committed by an influential person who will find a way around it. And that influential person will even have to get apologies from the government and from the whole citizens or from the nation. That's what we are going through today. And the way it is now, you agree with me that our public services, our justice system has so been twisted that we no longer have serious public services around again that are free from corruption. It no longer exists. If you're going to any government office today to do anything, you already made up your mind that you have somebody to grease their palms there, or you take you forever to get whatever service you went there for. I could list out some examples of what we face in Nigeria. Are you aware that today getting your own international passport as a citizen will take forever? Except if you are ready to pay higher price for it to somebody working in those places, they'll be able to say they are helping you, because that's the language here. Will help you do it. Something that's supposed to cost you 10,000 naira will end up costing you 25, 30,000 naira, and the person is telling you he's helping you. That's the level of where we are now. And that is the way Afghanistan has gone in the past that took them to where they are today. Our judicial system has been mortgaged to the highest bidder. What do I mean? It simply means that no matter what you do in Nigeria, like I said earlier, just make some money. There's a price for everything. Just pay and you're free. And those who cannot pay for getting justice are just simply denied. If you are an influential person in Nigeria, whatever thing you are doing, no matter how you are doing it, you can afford to buy up the press and nobody will talk about it again. All the journalists will keep quiet. Whoever tries to make noise about it will be sent to prison to remain there until everything dies down. That's if the person is alive, is lucky to come out alive. That is how bad the whole thing has become. Do you know that Afghanistan was depending solely or more of having dependence on foreign countries, foreign services, foreign goods? It got to a point that they, their own military can no longer even protect them. They have to take the intervention of Americans, British soldiers to come and stay on ground in Afghanistan to protect the country. While all this was going on, the country was dancing more to favor their foreign allies, their foreign partners, and all that. Meaning, if an American commits an offense in Afghanistan, he's likely to go free. But if an Afghan commits half that same offense, he may even be killed or jailed for long. The same thing is happening here now in Nigeria. Once you have a wise king, you commit an offense, there's a way to tell you. Nigerian government can even tell you they don't even know how the person escaped. We have cases of that in the past where high profile names were mentioned in an offense, and what happened again, we just told that they disappeared from a detention center or detention facility. If you have gone to any DSS office in Nigeria, you agree with me that it's difficult for anyone to escape from there. But we have instances of where a foreigner who has a different skin color with Nigerians was able to escape from detention, from a DSS detention. And today, nobody is telling us how the person managed to escape. So Afghanistan lived like this. Nigeria is living the same way now. Afghans depended on foreign things. Their government depended on. They were not even interested in producing anything or manufacturing anything. They were busy importing things, bringing things from different places. Some in the name of aid, some in the name of just importation. The same thing is happening here today. Most of Nigerian industries are dead. The ones that manage to operate are just barely surviving. Government is not even trying to help. Instead, the government even encourages people buying things from outside, importing whatever things they need from outside. And all these things is leading us to, you see our politicians go shopping abroad. You see our politicians going holidays abroad. You see our politicians going for medical checkups abroad. This is a country that's supposed to be building itself up. But what do we have? We have nations and we have leaders who just believe that whatever thing they need is outside the country. They don't even have to get anyone here. They believe the country is doesn't. They believe the country doesn't even exist. So there's no point trying to make anything work. So this is the case that Nigeria is in today. Now, during those days of the Afghans were their private leaders were in power. They were battling a terrorist organization called the Taliban. This is even the worst of it all. During those years, while they were battling the Taliban, the government, because some politicians, some people in government were fraternizing with this terrorist organization, the Taliban was able to infiltrate much of the country. Even while they have American and the British soldiers on ground, they were not able to fight them to a halt. Taliban's were even taking up towns and cities and setting up their governments there, even while they were still fighting the government. At some point, you see that the Taliban was just virtually in control of some towns and cities, and that made it very difficult. Along the line, the thing changed gear to, you now discover that government was even negotiating with the so-called Taliban terrorist organizations. You see government negotiating to even for ransom for the Taliban. You see government releasing their leaders in exchange for some other people that were captured somewhere. Once you start doing this, what it simply meant was that the Taliban will just be emboldened, the terrorist organization will just be emboldened. Now, let's bring it home. Are you aware that in Nigeria here, same or similar situations are just playing out? We started by having one terrorist organization called Boko Haram in Borno and Yobe State. Started from maybe the noise started from somewhere in Bauchi, moved to Borno, moved to Yobe, and all that. They were fighting and hoisting their flags in some villages and communities. While this was going on, Nigerian politicians were playing politics with it. Some of them dragged religion into it. Exactly the same thing that happened in Afghanistan, where people were telling you that, yeah, these people are our brothers, they are our same religion, this and that, they are our fellow Muslims. The same thing started playing out in Nigeria, where prominent names, prominent politicians started blaming the government of the day for Boko Haram. Some even came out to say that government fighting Boko Haram is fighting Islam, that government fighting Boko Haram is fighting their religion. This became a problem. And some people believed them. And now it continued. Today, we no longer have only Boko Haram in Nigeria. We have the Boko Haram, we have some other groups, some groups that are affiliated to Al Qaeda, we have some affiliated to ISIS, others as even splinter groups are now emerging. There are so many now that we no longer have names for them. We just call a group or groups of them bandits. What do they do now? They still kill people, they still kidnap, they still take ransom, they still steal, they destroy villages, they kill farmers. This is the same thing the Afghanistan went through. In the case of Afghanistan, at some point, I was telling you how their government was negotiating with them and all that. It will interest you to know that the current president of Afghanistan today was one time a Taliban member who was arrested for terrorism offenses. But the government had to negotiate and release him. He went back to his terrorist group and continued fighting the government. Today, he's the leader. He has chased away the president of the country, taking over the country. He's now in charge. The same thing is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria continues to negotiate, to deal down with these people that it started from the time of Boko Haram. You arrest terrorists. After some time, government will tell you, no, these are the repentant Boko Haram. These are repentant terrorists. These are repentant bandits. We are having them now. You arrest criminals, terrorists, bandits, kidnappers. Government is telling you no because they belong to a certain religion. We grant them amnesty. They baptize their name and call them repentant Boko Haram, repentant terrorists, repentant bandit. It took Nigerian government such a long time to even designate Boko Haram as a terrorist organization. And people fought it that time because the government that did it wasn't even a Muslim president. Because he was a Christian, he was accused of attacking the Muslims. So today in Nigeria, most of the people the government arrest, our military and security agencies arrested for several crimes. You see them being paraded today. Tomorrow, elaborate ceremonies are ahead for them. They appear in uniforms. Government will set up a place, celebrate them as heroes, telling us that they are repented Boko Haram, repentant bandit, repented this, repented that. Government will spend our money celebrating these people, dressing them up, hold parties for them. They will celebrate. Government will fly them in our aircraft to their various states of origin, hand them over to their state governors, where the ceremony will continue again in the government houses. Government of their states will now set up places again to celebrate them for returning, meaning they are now called heroes. These are people you caught red-handed as a terrorist. Now you are celebrating them and telling us you granted them pardon. Now it doesn't just stop there. Why this is happening, government is already enrolling some of them into our military, enrolling some of them into our police, enrolling some of them into our others with various security agencies. Others are placed on salaries for life just because they were called repentant this, repentant that, repentant terrorist is now being celebrated. That is the level we have got into. So simply put, our politicians has ruined this nation. They've destroyed this country in such a way that it's just a matter of time. We will now understand fully well that we are really trading on the same track that Afghanistan traded. And I would be surprised if we end the same place Afghanistan ended because we're not doing anything different. The way it is today, there is no other way to explain it. The politicians has ruined this country called Nigeria. And in fact, as Africa as a whole, Nigeria is the largest country in Africa in terms of population. If anything happens to Nigeria today, I just feel for the neighboring countries. The whole Africa will feel the heat. The neighboring countries will suffer because population explosion will just happen all over. Today, insecurity is everywhere in Nigeria. There is no more safe place in Nigeria. Not one place. There is no safe state in Nigeria now. If you are not battling bandits, you are battling kidnappers. If you are not battling kidnappers, you are battling assassins. You are battling terrorists. You are battling all sorts of vices. To even make matters even worse again in Nigeria, secret cult groups are now becoming are now operating very, very open. Our politicians are emboldening them. Today, if you're a cultist, you are celebrated in Nigeria because they call you a strong man, senior man, whatever name they call it. Nobody wants to know the operations of these people. Even when we are seeing them killing people, doing all sorts of things, destroying things, nobody wants to talk about it. We believe they are doing what they're supposed to do. What I'm saying in essence is it is just becoming very glaring to us that we are destroying ourselves. We are destroying our nation. We are destroying even the foundations of this country. If we continue like this, I do not know where we're headed to. Some people may tell you that they need to pray and God will save us. I've grown to a stage where I know that I don't go asking God to come and do what He has done for me or what He's giving me power to do, and I refuse to do it. I only ask God for what I know I cannot do and what I do not have the means or powers to do. I only ask God to help. But for the things He has given me the powers to do, I'm no longer going to ask. I'm no longer going to ask God to do them. He has given me the power to do it. Nigeria is destroying itself, and will continue to do that. The worst is that the praise singers, some people collect peanuts just to come and tell you that what is wrong is right, what is bad is good. Whatever thing that is happening now is the best thing that ever happened to human beings since creation. So, in rounding up, you just see that Nigeria is not just in any good situation. And once again, I remind you again that Afghanistan, their problem did not just start one day, it took time. The same thing, Nigeria, our problem did not just start one day, it's now taking time. And we're headed to where we don't even know.